How to Rune 101. Let's do this. How to Rune 101, especially for newbies, because I've been seeing a lot of comments from my videos on how to rune. So we're going to start off with breaking down monster types. So let's have DPS, and then tanks, and then support. So probably just 3, and then warrior. Because I think warriors are gonna be the most random ass monsters that you'll be seeing in this game. First, let's talk about DPS monsters, because DPS monsters are like easiest monsters to rune, right? So usually you recommend here Fatal or Rage if you're going for a 4 set, and then for the 2 set you can just go with Blade, Destroy, or whatever. Shield can work as well. Shield. Okay, I think we need to make the font smaller now. Blade, Destroy, Shield, Energy. Anything could work actually for your 2 set. The only important thing here is to look for the stats that you actually need. Also, you can just go with random stuff if you can't find any of the Fatal or Rage runes, right? Because again, we're only looking for stats here. Actually, Swift is up there, but you know, it's not that good. I don't think it's that good still. But yeah, you can also go with 2x Blade +1, right? Or random stuff, something like that. It's either Blade or Destroy, or no. 2 times Destroy is okay, but it only makes you destroy HP faster, but it's not that recommended since sometimes games go very long and you'll reach the max amount of HP destroyed anyway. Double Shield is good, double Energy could work as well, but double Blade +1, this makes it so much easier to rune your monsters, because a lot of the times DPS monsters will be using Blade or crit based, right? Oh, by the way, how to rune 101, the best answer actually here is it depends. Okay, we have to get that out of the way because it always depends based on the monsters that you are using. So for example, here we have my Espino, right? So for example, you're trying to rune Espino. So Espino right now, I think he's okay with any of these 3. Fatal, Rage, Swift. Swift probably not the best one for him because his skill 1 is not really that good with attack speed. Okay, so I like the burst-based Espino. So you're gonna go with Rage +1, right? +1 here just means it's either Blade or Destroy. I actually recommend going for Destroy because again, when we say it depends here, if we go look at Espino's skills, he has a passive that increases his own critical rate already. So 30% critical rate, this means you can just drop Blade rune on this guy. So it's so much easier to rune him with Destroy than Blade. So he's going to have almost 100% crit rate no matter what, right? Okay. Another thing that you have to take note here, if doing PvP, have at least 50k HP. Have at least 50k HP on your monster. So this is just my recommendation. So at least, okay, so that's 50k plus. Okay, 50k plus HP. So if you look at my monsters, all my DPS monsters right now are on that, right? So if you look at, okay, Tesarion here is at 57k HP, Espino 53, Zeratu 60k, Ethna, this one's 41k because again, special case, this one's on Shield Rune, we'll talk about that later. And then Sharon's at 58, Jana 56. I don't even use this for PvP, so exception again. And then Neptis 51k, okay? So again, if you're trying to PvP, have at least 50k HP. I think 50k is almost enough for the monsters to survive an Orbial Light Weapon Burst before you can get them healed. Okay? So, okay. Another special case here, if you're trying to rune Sharon, for example. Okay, so this is what we call the it depends monsters, right? Because again, it always depends on their skills. So if you look at Sharon right here, her skill is weak point, right? Weak point attack. So what is weak point attack? Weak point damage. So weak point damage, you can read here, weak point attack is a non-critical attack triggered based on the difference between the target, the caster's precision and the target's evasion. So you don't need crit rate here to make the weak point, to do the weak point attack. Okay, so almost all her skills are based off of that mechanic, right? Weak point attack available, weak point attack available, right? So that's why it's very important for you to be runing her with some precision, or a lot of precision actually, because the damage scales off the difference between precision and evasion. And then because of that, you can just go with Fatal, right? Fatal, you don't want Rage here. You can go Fatal or Swift. Because if you look at her skill 1, she benefits a lot with a lot of attack speed, right? She gets to use her double shot. So this is a 20% chance to use her double shot, right? And the double shot also triggers weak point and damage drain as well. So there's also drain here and also block, harmful effect removal here. Okay, so pretty good with Fatal or Swift. And then subset that I recommend, you don't go with Blade. Again, you don't need crit rate here. So since you don't need crit rate, you can easily just go with Destroy, right? Destroy is one of the best subsets that you want for PvP, because for PvP in the long games, Destroy will definitely, you'll see the difference with Destroy or without Destroy, because destroying enemies HP down to 60% HP, it's so much easier for them to get bursted when it comes to the later parts of the game. But of course, if you can't go for Destroy, you can still go for Shield, Energy, or probably Assembly. Assemble Rune gives you precision rate of 20%, so if you can't get the precision from the substats, then get it here. Okay, so okay, let's just go with Thessarion. I think a lot of people has Thessarion, right? Thessarion. Okay, Thessarion is a Fire Ifrit. Okay, so this one is the more standard DPS monster that you'll see, right? So Fatal, Rage, and Swift is really good on this guy. Again, so just aim for as high attack as you can, and again, HP. Get your HP as high as you can. He benefits a lot with Swift, because if you look at his skills again, right? This one just burns enemies for 16 seconds. But you can see here, he has a passive here, continuous effect, right? Applies Oblivion with a certain chance when attacking the enemy target. So attacking means using skills or even just basic attacks. So you get to use Oblivion, or you get to put Oblivion on the enemy even with just basic attacks. So Swift is actually also beneficial here. Okay? And then for the substat, you can just go again, Blade, Destroy, or probably Energy or Shield. That also works. Okay? So when it comes to, let's just put a line here. When it comes to traditional damage dealers like Thessarion, some stats that I probably would be aiming for is probably around 70% crit rate plus. I mean, this is pretty low. 70% crit rate is still pretty low, but it's good enough. It's good enough. Greater, or let's just say plus, right? 70% crit rate. These are just the minimum stats that you're trying to look for, right? 150% crit damage. If you can get it to 200% with Rage Blade, better for sure, right? Again, 50k HP plus, right? 50k plus HP. What else? What else are you? Attack? Attack wise, 4k minimum. 4k plus attack. I think my attack on, this guy's attack is very low. But yeah, you can go for higher for sure. Mine is not really that high, but if you can go to 5k, better. But I think minimum you can just go for 4k. So this is probably the minimum that you want to look at for your damage dealers. Okay. Well, if you're starting out, you can probably go with 40k, but 40k is just too low. I don't think I can recommend 40k HP for a DPS monster. It's too low. It's too low. It's gonna die so fast. It's going to die so fast. Alright, so if you look at all my stats right here, I'm following almost all of those guidelines always for my monsters, right? So yeah. Attack speed wise, when it comes to monsters like Thessarion, Sharon, you want to get at least... this is a special case, okay, for monsters that have good basic attacks. Probably at least 150 plus attack speed. At least 150 plus for Sharon, Thessarion. Espino doesn't really... I don't really like putting attack speed on him. Argen as well is someone... Oh! You can actually just put Argen here, right? Argen. No. If you put Argen here, it's not good. Because he's not a PvP monster, right? So, basically, this is probably going to be my guidelines when it comes to DPS monsters. And again, in the end, it depends, right? It depends on the stats that you have on the stats or substat rules that you get, right? But at least try to aim for these things. Let's put plus here so that it's not misleading. Okay. So these are like your minimum numbers that you want to hit. Okay. Let's move on to tanks. Try building Dark Monkey. That's why we have warriors down here, right? Warriors are kind of hard to build. Most annoying monsters to build. Anyways, let's look at the tanks. Okay, the tanks are kind of easy to build, right? Energy, guard. Usually it's just energy guard. You can go for the resistance ones. Endure. You can go for endure or whatever. Shield, destroy can also work. No, not really shield, but destroy. Destroy could also work probably if you can do it. Some tanks take despair or shield. Yeah, but again, it depends. But this is tanks in general, right? Tanks in general. So I think our premier example over here is probably Ariel, but I don't have Ariel. Okay, so I don't have Ariel, so we're going with Sir Acteon as the example. Or we can just look at people's Ariels in our Discord. So if you guys are not yet in Discord, we have monster builds that are being uploaded there every time when people do their stuff, right? So we can just look at some Ariels over there. No one's uploading any Ariels. Hello? Guys, can I see some Ariels? No one's using Ariel? We see one here. I think you guys will be better at giving me stats for Ariel because I don't use Ariel. I'm not sure how survivable he is with stats that he has, right? 9k defense minimum? Damn. But yeah, we can use that as an example. So Sir Acteon, high-end PvP. This guy's gonna be crazy, but yeah. Oh no, I'm using Sir Acteon as an example, but I rune him differently. I'm using Rage Blade on this guy. I'm using Rage Blade, but again, look at the stats. It's all about the stats, right? You can go 3x guard, 2x guard, energy, 2x guard, destroy. Because he still deals a lot of damage actually. Sir Acteon deals a lot of damage. So these are the runes that you can go with, but Rage Blade for fun, right? So that we're not going against my guide, okay? Or my build. So we still have Rage Blade. Rage Blade is still okay, but that's if you're for funning already. Let's do a word wrap here. Okay, and then for the stats that you're trying to look for, I think minimum 7k def, 7k plus defense. Since this guy is a defense-based monster anyway, so you want a lot of defense on him. And then HP, at least 60k. 60k plus HP. I think 60k is already enough. My Thessarion is... Oh, he's not even 60k. He's just 59k, but almost there though. Almost there. But usually this is what you want to look for tanks. So see, it's super easy. Super easy to look at them. You want to get resistance as well. Resistance is good, but I have no minimum amount for resistance because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's better to just have immunity on your monsters, right? It's sometimes just better to straight up have immunity on your monster. Okay? Resistance sometimes works, but most of the times RNG, man. It's just RNG. But yeah, super easy, right? I don't have any other tanks except for Sir Acteon, really. So we can just use yeah, it's really Ariel, right? It's really Ariel. So Ariel again can go with, it's the same. It's the same. But you don't go guard on this guy because he does not deal any damage. Oh, Theor, that's true. Oh, Theor is kind of a special case because he's a damage based, but we can look at him later. Right? I built him before. We can just look at my monster build on him previously. But he is still a def-based monster, right? He's a def-based monster that deals damage, so probably a special case, but we can go with that. Again, I think we just follow this one, right? We just follow this one for Ariel as well. Okay, so let's go to a special case. Someone mentioned Theor, right? Theor is kind of a special case because this is a tank monster that deals a lot of damage based off of his HP. So almost... Oh, we also have Rakan. So we have HP-based monsters and defense-based monsters. Okay, so something to think about here. Why is it important to have a lot of HP? It's because defense break is in the game. Def down. Def down is in the game. So level 1 def down reduces your armor by 50%. right away. So defense reduces defense by 50%, and that's huge. So imagine having 7k defense and you have only 40k HP. If you get defense downed, you're going to have 3,500 defense, which is going to make you really, really sad because your tank is going to be very, very squishy. Okay? So that's why it's important to still have a lot of HP here. And you'll see this later on the warriors area as well. Okay? Let's go with Tayor. Okay. What you can do with Tayor, since this guy is actually a damage dealer, not just a tank. So since he is going to be like that, you can go with 2x Blade. Blade Guard. I had him on Blade Guard before, right? 2x Blade Guard, Rage Blade, or you can also go Rage Blade or Guard. Rage Blade or Guard, or just go 3x Guard. Right? It's possible. I'm not mentioning any main stats here because I should have probably mentioned that earlier on in the game, but 2, 4, and 6. Yeah, it's probably def percent. Right? You can go with crit damage as slot 4 over here. But usually you can get it from Rage if you're trying to do a Rage Guard build, right? You can get the crit damage from that and just go tanky. Again, defense-wise, what is my stats from before? I can just show it here. This is my Tayor, right? So again, we're still following the same guidelines as before, but he was not able to reach 60k HP. But this is already good enough because it's actually going to be very hard to get this guy to 60k HP because there's a lot of stats that you want here. Crit rate, crit damage as well, right? So since this guy is a damage dealer that can deal a lot of damage with crit as well, you want crit, right? So 7k def. I'll probably just 6k. 6k probably minimum def on this guy, something like that. And then you can go with 50k HP minimum. I feel like these numbers are so low, but yeah. 70% crit rate. If you can go higher, better. 120% crit damage. Is that enough? I think that's too low. 130, 140? Probably 140. I think 140 probably very, very doable, right? So this is like your minimum stats that you want. If we're looking for slots 2, 4, 6 for these monsters, it's just def percent. All 3x def percent. Same with this guy. 2, 4, and 6 is 3x def percent. But again, it's always situational. It depends, right? So based on the substats that you roll, if you get a good HP percent with high def percent substats, then you can just use that, right? I think it's the same thing for the DPS monsters over here. So 2, 4, 6 attack, HP, attack. This is how I rune mine. Usually for my DPS monsters, it's usually going to be like this. Actually, it's not attack even. This is speed. This is also speed. So these are special cases, right? These are monsters that utilize speed, but it's usually what you're going to see is attack, HP, attack. But if you already are reaching 50k HP without an HP percent rune, then better, right? That's better. So much better. Okay, supports. I think support's so much easier to rune again. I think easiest one that we can show for support probably is probably Juno, Bastet actually, Bastet, Usa, are the easiest ones to rune. So energy, guard, or whatever. Whatever. Like legit, these monsters do not really care on what stats you put on them because they're usually being targeted last. Sometimes they get targeted first by assassin monsters. Oh, by the way, DPS monsters are usually assassin, archer, mage, warrior. Sometimes, right? Anyway, support monsters, whatever. Like you can rune them with whatever as long as you have energy. Right? Or energy, or as long as you have HP. So you can go with, let's have Bastet as an example. Bastet, she shields based off her max HP. So you can just go 3x energy. Or again, 2x energy guard. Right? Something like that. So important here to have is at least 80k plus HP. That's it. That's it. That's all you need for support monsters. if you're looking at the stat. But if it's Shushu, Shushu is a 4-star monster, but you can still go with 3x energy. I think it's still possible for you to get around 70k plus HP on a Shushu. With good runes, of course. And then special case that we have here that's very, 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 very famous in PvP is Juno, which is usually on Despair. Okay, so this is a special case because if you look at Juno's abilities, Juno has this one on her skill 1, right? The skill 1 hits enemies within an area 3 times, right? So the only time that you really use Despair runes is when you're trying to hit AoE abilities. And AoE abilities that hits multiple times because you're going to have higher chances of proccing the stuns from the Despair rune, right? So you can see here 17% chance of stun with skill hit, right? So this is based off skills, okay? Based off skills. So Despair energy could work, or Despair plus whatever. It doesn't matter. Mine's using Blade. But yeah. Juno, again, at least 80k plus HP is already good enough. Accuracy, you can go with probably 60%. I don't know if accuracy even works in this game, but you know, even at low accuracy it works. Monsters still work. So the reason why you want accuracy on her is because of her strip, right? She gets the strip with her, again, skill 1. So 75% rate, and that's 75% rate, and then you go through the accuracy resistance checks. Okay? You can go with a little bit of resistance on these monsters as well, but you know, it's okay. Right? So this is like your guidelines over here. So at least 80k HP. This is PvP, right? So if you can't get to 80k HP, I think that's still fine. 70, 60k is too low. 60k is like the usual HP of DPS monsters. So that's like too low. So 80k at least is pretty good. Alright. And lastly, we have warriors. Okay, why is it weird to rune warrior monsters? It's because warrior monsters are like the all-rounders in the game, right? You look at this guy is somewhat of a tank, somewhat of a support, somewhat a DPS monster, right? So it's kind of hard to understand how you want to rune these kinds of monsters. You look at another warrior monster like Laika over here. Laika is mostly like a damage dealer, but he also can sustain himself. Look at the monkey over here, Light Monkey. Again, he wants some HP, he wants defense, he wants attack. We have Feng Yan. This guy is defense-based, but remember what I said about being a defense-based monster, you want to have HP on it as well. But he also deals damage, so you want to have crit rate, crit damage, and attack on him. So yeah, it's kind of weird. These monsters are kind of weird, right? If you look at their stats, they're kind of weird, and it's what makes them a little bit harder to build because you want a little bit of everything. So this one is really, it depends. This is the biggest it depends part, right? Because these guys are crazy. But usually, rune sets that you want to go here is Destroy. You want to have Destroy over here. If you want to go for 4 sets, right? I think almost everything is good. Like Rage, you can go Rage, you can go Fatal, you can go Energy, 2x Energy, Guard, Blade, Destroy. But in the end, you need to have one Destroy, or you at least want to have one Destroy on them, or it's really good to have Destroy on these monsters. The reason why is because since these warrior monsters are like the all-rounders, they usually last very long in fights. So they have a lot of HP, a lot of defense, so they can really tank it well, tank damage well, and they can sustain themselves in fights wherein the Destroy rune actually benefits a lot, or you benefit a lot from the Destroy runes when fights go really long, because in the end, enemies will have like 60% HP remaining, and yeah, it's going to be so much easier for you to be killing these people, right? So who's a very good standard warrior monsters? Garo, this guy is a very good example here. This guy usually goes on Rage Destroy. Okay, Rage Destroy. Usually, you can also go probably, I don't know, double energy. I don't have a Garo, so Any Garo users? 2x energy destroy. I think Rage is the best one for him though. 2, 4, 6. Usually you go HP percent. Triple. Or again, huge or here. Because you can just go HP, crit damage percent, and HP percent. Or attack percent. It depends. But I don't think you usually go for attack percent on Garo because he deals damage based off his max HP anyway. So I think this would be the best one. Triple HP with crit damage from substats. Crit damage, crit rate from substats. Right? So he gets a lot of crit damage from Rage already anyway. Right? So this is how most people rune their Garo. So probably Garo's a special case. I don't know. Panda. Feng Yan. Win Panda. Again, Rage. Destroy. Or you can go with 2x guard plus destroy. You can also go blade if you can't get enough or if you can't get the runes. Okay? So 246, 246, 3x, def percent again. And then get your HP from the substats, crit damage from the substats. Right? So those are the things that you want to look for on this guy. You can, again, it's almost the same as Garo. So this is like defense-based Garo. But it's not really as strong. No. It's on par with Garo, probably. I don't know. He's good. Okay, he's good. Def percent, crit damage. If you want to build him with crit damage, but I don't think you really want to have this guy on crit rate. You just want a lot of defense and HP on this guy. But you can go with this one, or probably you can go with HP even. I feel like HP is also very good. What's my rune? I think I'm on HP. Yeah, I'm on HP. Def, HP, def. Send it on Discord. Alright, let's... Okay, there you go. Ew, Garo user. Ew. Blah. 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 Garo user. But yeah, you can see here, Rage Destroy. 80k HP. High crit rate, high crit damage. That's all the focus here. That's all the focus here, right? Minimum stats. I don't go. Based off this, 80k HP minimum. Probably. 70% crit rate, maybe? Plus, of course. And then 150% again. We're aiming for the low numbers here. Crit damage. Right? That's like the minimum numbers that we're trying to look for. Feng Yan here. I don't know, man. Let me see your Feng Yans, because my Feng Yan is just there to bait bans. I don't really usually use him. 6k def? 6k def minimum, probably. I mean, 6k I think is probably pretty low, but I think that's good enough, right? 6k def, 50k plus, 60k plus HP. I think 50k HP is a little bit too low for a Feng Yan. If you want, you can go with crit rate, crit damage. So just follow 70%, 150% if you're trying to go for crit rate, crit damage like over here, right? But usually you can just go with a lot of defense, and he already deals a lot of damage even without critting, right? But I mean, crits feel good. Will you send us a copy of your notepad? Yeah, I can probably just upload it in the Discord as well, so that you can use it as a guidance. Yeah, you can use it as a guide for monsters. Okay. What else? Are we missing anyone here? Yeah, I think some of these ones like Light Monkey, Dark Pirate are very special cases, because these are the real monsters that really need all the stats. All stats, right? All stats. Okay. We have Laika over here. Laika is one of those monsters that's really weird. Special case is Laika. Why is Laika a special case? Because if you look at his passive, I'm not sure how others ruined their Laika, but mine is really on very, very low HP, because I think it's possible for me to sustain him anyway, as long as he does not get hit with Oblivion or Unrecoverable, right? So if you look at his skill, this is why he is a special case. Restrict damage taken. So any damage that this guy takes will not exceed 12% of his max HP. So 48k. We'll do calculator again. 48,000 times 0.12. Okay. Damage that he can receive can only be around 5,600. So that's a little bit. That's too high still. I think that's very high. Multi-attack too. True. Yeah, multi-attack can definitely burst this guy down, but usually single target burst attacks does not really work well on this guy. So Orbial Light with the laser will not instantly burst this, right? The Orbial Light laser will not insta-burst this, but there's still multiple attacks from that light weapon from Orbia. So he's also not really good against archers because archers usually have a lot of attack speed and multi attacks. But usually when you're against something like huge burst damage, like another Leica, like another Leica, right? It's not going to one shot your Leica, or it's impossible for them to one shot Leica. That's why I don't have any HP on this guy. He's on triple attack at the moment on Rage Blade as well. There's a lot of ways, again, a lot of ways you can rune these types of monsters. Rage Blade, someone mentioned this Vampire. Actually, Vampire Rune is really good on this guy. A lot of warrior monsters also benefit from Vampire Runes, actually, because they get to sustain. Again, it's the same concept when I was talking about Destroy Runes, right? You get to sustain longer in fights, and that's just how they are, actually. So, being warriors, they get to sustain in the fights, and they get to deal damage as well. So, if you're dealing damage, you can get to heal a lot from Vampire. But if you look at skill 1 on this guy already, it already has Drain. But if he's not doing this one and he's doing this one, then you will not be healing from this. So, having Vampire is really good. But Vampire also gives you additional healing from your drains, right? So, yeah. Vampire Destroy, you can also go, I don't know, Blade. If you have very bad runes, just go 2x Blade. Destroy. Right? 2x Blade Destroy. Or even Energy. Right? These guys are very, very versatile, right? You can rune them with whatever you want, actually, as long as you hit the stats that you want. For him to be effective, 5k attack maybe? 5k? 5k? Or let's just 4.5k minimum. It's probably hard to get him to 5k attack. HP 50k? Probably. Where's my calculator? Clear it. So 50k times 0.12. Yeah, 6k damage, I think that's good enough. Alright, I think that's it. And then again, crit rate, crit damage, 70% plus, and then 150% plus crit rate / crit damage. Okay, so that's how you want it to be. Oh, we have Genos. Oh, we have a Genos abuser in the chat. Right, we have also Genos here as another warrior monster, very popular warrior monster. Oh, what is this? Yeah, this guy, for sure you want to put on Despair runes. Okay. Oh. Wait, does he deal damage based off HP or it's just attack? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, it's just attack. Attack based. Okay. So he's one of those guys, right? One of those guys that want a lot of HP and a lot of attack as well. So very hybrid. You want a lot of survivability on this guy. The problem with warrior monsters because they're usually melee units, right? Or well, they're all melee units, which means they're going to be in front. And being in front of the fights means you're going to take damage. So if you don't have HP, that monster is going to die and they're not going to have a lot of impact. Right, so that's something unique with warriors. That's why they're kind of hard to rune, right? Sometimes you want them to deal damage, but the problem is they have low HP. This is one reason why Garo is so good. Here I am ranting about Garo again. This is one reason why Garo is so good. You can see his skill is based off max HP, right? He's already a warrior monster and he deals damage based off of his max HP. That's why he's so good. He's so good. So you don't have to look for attack anymore. Like you can see here, the multiplier for attack is there. There is a multiplier for attack, but you can just go for HP. You don't really need attack. But look at the cases for other warrior monsters. I mean, example is Garo, but Garo is still good. Garo is still very strong because of the CC he provides. But this guy, you can look at the stats here or the multipliers. It's all attack based, right? It's all usually attack based, and the problem with being attack based monster is that, or attack based warrior is that you need HP. You still need a lot of HP because you're in the front lines, right? So that's another reason why Garo is too good. That's why you have to nerf Garo. Lul. Anyways, I think that's all for our runes, right? Did I miss anything? Any other special cases? Probably DPS side. I probably forgot to add shield runes. shield runes are really good. DPS monsters are really good holders for shield runes. Okay, why? It's because shield runes are scaling based off attack, right? And who else are going to have a lot of attack? Of course, it's going to be your DPS monsters. So assassin, archer, mage, sometimes warrior monsters will have a lot of attack, so you want to take advantage of them. Shield runes are very beneficial for them not to get bursted start of the fights. But yeah, for me, I still prefer having a lot of HP more. And I think let's put especially assassins over here, because assassins usually dive into the enemy team and they usually die first. So they get a lot of value from the shield runes because they get hit with it really fast and they get to consume the stacks really fast. I think that's how you rune in this game. Again, a lot of it depends here. It depends on the monster. So best way to still rune your monster is to read the skills and then based on that, build whatever you want, right? So that's it. Uploaded on Discord. So if you guys are not yet on Discord, Discord to join and you'll be able to see it there, right? So if you guys have additional thoughts on that, I mean, we're free to discuss, right?